Okay, students, am I audible to you? Kindly use the chat box. If I am audible, you can use. Okay, good morning. We are going to begin our class. We are going to start with a new chapter today, chapter 4 from your textbook, that is heat. Let's see what are we going to learn in this particular chapter. Before I continue, let me introduce myself. Myself Milan Patil. We are going to start with Standard 7 Science. Okay, let's see. Okay, let us see what are the learning objective of this particular class. We are going to see what is heat energy. We are going to understand what are heat and cold object. We are going to learn about effects of heat. We are also going to learn about temperature, different measuring device for temperature, that is different types of thermometer, different mode of transfer of heat, that is conduction, convection and radiation. These are the three different modes. And we are also going to learn about sea and land breeze. Okay, let's continue. Here we have two pictures. In picture 1, there is a hot cup of tea. And in picture 2, there is a cold milkshake. What will happen to hot cup of tea if you keep it like this for some time? Will it going to remain hot? You can use your chat box to give your answer. So my question is, let me repeat the question for you. What will happen to this hot cup of tea if you keep it outside for some time? Yes, it will become cold after some time. If you leave it like that, it will become cold. This particular milkshake is cold or cold milkshake. What will happen to this milkshake when you keep it outside? Will it going to remain cold only? Definitely no. It will become warm. So what is hot or what is cold? So let us try to understand hot or cold object, okay, in more detail. So how do we define a hot object or how do we define a cold object? And what? In this example, the hot object doesn't remain hot, it becomes cold. The cold object doesn't remain cold, it becomes hot. So let us try to understand it with more example in our today's class. Okay, what is heat? Okay, there is one activity now for you. There is a warm water in beaker A. In beaker B, there is a normal tap water, and in beaker C, there is a ice cold water. Okay, we are going to put fingers in this beaker A, B and C. What you will observe? What you will observe? Students, you are supposed to answer in the chat box. You are not using your chat box, so you use the chat box to give the answer. Just like you used to use Google Meet for giving answers, you can use your chat box. So my question here is, in beaker A, I have put hot water. In beaker B, we have put normal water. And beaker C, I have put ice cold water. What will be your observation in these three beakers? When you put fingers in these three beakers, what you will notice? What you will observe? Yes, in beaker A, we are going to fill hot or warm. In beaker B, it will be moderate. Whereas in beaker C, it will be very cold. Moderate means here neither very hot, neither very cold, because it's the normal water. So, we are going to not feel it very hot, not very cold. But whereas in beaker A, our finger is going to feel very, very hot. And beaker C, our finger is going to feel very cold. Okay, there is a slight twist in the activity. Okay, you can do this, perform this activity at home. You take 3 bowls, okay, you take 3 bowls. In one bowl, you put warm water. In one bowl, you put ice cold water. And in one bowl, you put normal water. Okay, you will put your finger, one finger, left finger, in warm water, right hand finger, you will put it in a cold, ice cold water, and you will keep it for 1 minute. How long? We will keep it for 1 minute. After 1 minute, you will take out your hands left and right, and you will put it in the bowl B, that is in the bowl B where we have kept normal water, and you will observe something. And that observations you are going to tell me through the chat box. And that's the twist here. Okay, there is the twist in this activity. You are going to do it, perform it. You can pause the video later on when you are watching this video, and you can give your observation here. Okay, let's continue now. What is heat? Let us try to understand what is heat. Okay, what do you mean by the term heat? When two objects are kept in contact, there is a difference in temperature between them. A certain type of energy flow between them. This energy is termed as heat energy. Okay, so what do you mean by heat? Heat is nothing but a type of energy. Now, what type of energy? So, when two objects are come in contact with each other, and there is a difference. Suppose one object is hot and one object is cold. Okay, one object is hot and other one is cold. So, that means there is a difference in temperature. So, if there is a difference in temperature between this hot and cold object, a certain type of energy flow, and that type of energy that flows through them, we term it as heat. What do we call such energy flow? We call it as heat energy. Now, heat energy always move from hotter object to colder object. So, how do the heat energy move, or how do the heat energy get transferred? It get transferred from hotter object to the colder object. Okay, so that's why when you have put your finger in the beaker A, in which I have kept hot water, what did you notice? What did you notice? Our finger was feeling hot, isn't it? So the beaker A was hot. Okay, in the beaker A, the hot warm water was there. Okay, there's a beaker A contain warm water. When we dip the finger, or when we put the finger in this, what happened? What happened? So this is hot, our finger is cold. Okay, so there is a transfer of heat from hot water or warm water to the finger. Okay, there is a temperature difference, isn't it? There is a temperature difference. So therefore, the heat energy flow from the beaker A into the finger, and that's the reason our finger was feeling warm, isn't it? Our finger was feeling warm. Same thing with beaker C. In beaker C, what we have done? We have taken ice. What was there in beaker C? Ice was there. So this was very, very cold water. Okay, cold water. So when you put your finger, when you dip your finger in this cold water, now what happened? Again there is a transfer of heat. This time compared to the ice, our finger is warm. Okay. So now what I have told you, from where to where the heat energy will flow? From which region to which region? Always from hotter end to colder end. So heat energy always flow from hot to cold, not from cold to hot. Okay, vice versa is not possible. Hotter region to colder region. गरम जाग्यावरून थंड जाग्याचेर वतले. So here the warm region is finger compared to the ice, and now ice is very cold. Therefore, there is a transfer of heat from where? From where to where? From the finger to the ice cold water, and therefore we have feel cold. Our finger has feel that cold. Okay, therefore our finger feel it cold. So now in the third beaker, where there is a normal water, now your one finger I had told you to put in beaker A, that is warm water, and other finger I had told you to put it in ice water. So the finger which you have put in warm water is going to feel warm, and the finger which you have put it in the ice cold water is going to feel cold. Now you are going to do it simultaneously, both the fingers in this, and you are going to record your observation and you are going to tell me. Will you do that? Yes or no? Nobody is messaging in the chat box. Use the chat. Public chat is there for you in the live YouTube. Okay? Will you try this activity at home? Will you try it? Yes, I want many answers yes from all my students. Okay? So hopefully you are going to, yes, okay, very nice. Okay, we are going to try this activity at home and you will record your observation. How do you feel? Left finger will feel warm or right finger is going to feel cold. You are going to do it in this and you will pause the video and you can later on comment it. Okay. The transfer of energy from one body to another due to temperature difference is called heat. So let us define heat now. What is heat? The transfer of energy from one body to another. So from always heat is transfer from hotter region to colder region. Garam जाग्यावरून थंड जाग्यावर वतले. So transfer of heat energy, that is heat energy from hotter body to colder body is termed as heat. Now let us try to understand characteristics of this heat. Okay, heat always transfer from which region to which region? I have told you this. Yes, heat is going to transfer from hot to cold. Okay, it is not opposite. Cold to hot जाए. It is always from hotter region to colder region. Okay, that means the object which are very hot, they are going to become cold after some time. That's the reason when you keep half cup of tea, suppose you have kept a tea in a cup and you have kept the cup out for some time. So this hot cup of tea is going to become cold after some time. You will notice it will become cold. So that means what has happened, this heat energy from this cup has come out and it has moved out. Okay, so more and more heat energy has come out, and therefore till what time it will become? It is going to become very cold, ice cold. This hot cup of tea, after some time I have told you it will become cold, isn't it? So is it, if I keep it outside, will it become like ice cold tea? No, definitely no. So till what time the transfer of heat energy will take place? Till it achieve equilibrium. Till it achieve equilibrium means what? So here temperature is very hot, the outside temperature is slightly cold. So what will happen? Till the both the temperature become equal, till that time the transfer of heat energy is going to take place. After that, the tea is going to remain like that only. Okay, it is once the outside suppose outside temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, just giving random example. And suppose this hot cup of tea temperature of this is suppose 60 degrees Celsius. So this there is a temperature difference. So there is a temperature difference. The inside cup of tea having high temperature, outside there is a low temperature. Now the transfer of heat will take place from hotter region to colder region till both the temperature become 37 only. Till that time there is a transfer of heat. After that the tea is going to remain like that only. So heat energy, first characteristic says that always transfer from hotter object to colder object. That is from object of higher temperature to object of lower temperature. And what is the second characteristic? This is the second characteristic. how much heat energy transfer will take place? Till both objects will be at the same temperature. Okay, till both the objects achieve a same temperature, it is going to heat energy is going to transfer is going to take place. Suppose you keep a ice in a bowl. Okay, you take a ice in a bowl and you put ice cubes. What will happen to this ice cube after some time? What will happen to the ice cube if you keep this bowl outside for some time, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe half an hour? What will happen to this ice cube? They will become hot or cold. Now this is ice cubes are cold. Okay, what will happen to this ice cube if you keep it outside? Yes, they are going to become warm after some time. Means ice cold water, all the ice will start melting and it will become cold water, and after some time that cold water will become a warm normal water, right? So it will become a normal water. So there is a transfer of heat. Now from where to where? Outside temperature is hot. Okay, outside temperature is hot. This water which is kept in a beaker is cold. So the heat energy is going to transfer from outside to inside, and therefore after some time you will notice that the ice water will become normal after some time. And that is because both the temperature, outside temperature and inside temperature, is achieved. Till that time the transfer of heat will take place. Will it become very very hot? Will it become very very hot like you have warmed it? No, right? It will not become very very hot unless and until you keep the beaker on the gas stove and you supply more heat, then only it will become very hot. Otherwise it will not become very hot, it will become a normal water. Okay, these are the two characteristics. So let us summarize what are the two characteristics of the heat. The two characteristics are heat energy always transfer from hot object to cold object, that is from higher region temperature region to lower temperature region, and transfer of heat will take place till both the temperature will be at the same till both the body are at same temperature. Okay, now let us take example. Now hot and cold object. When do we define an object is hot or an object is cold? How do we say that? How do we say that? So I said this hot cup of tea, this is a hot cup of tea. How do you know that? How do you know that this is hot? And I say that this particular beaker contains ice cold water. So I say this is a cold. How do we know that? Yes, when you touch it, we can find it, right? By touching this object. We have that sensation of touch. We have learned about for senses chapter in standard 5th, and there we have learned there are 6 senses. So sensation of touch is going to help us in identifying whether the object is hot or cold. Okay, so this cup of tea, whether it is hot cup of tea or whether this beaker is the glass is cold, we are able to tell only when we try to touch them. Okay, only when we try to touch them. So by touching, going to help us in identifying whether the object is hot or whether that object is cold. Okay, only by touching. Otherwise, can you tell me how much hot is this cup of tea or how much cold is this ice water? Can I ask you the one more accurate? How much? How this cup of tea is hot means how much hot it is. If this glass is cold, how much cold it is. We cannot tell just by touching it. Okay, what happened when we touch? Look at the animation. What she is doing? With this lady is using her bare hand to hold a kettle. What happened to that? What happened to her? Observe it and tell me what happened to that lady. Yes, that the kettle must be very very hot. When she tried to touch it, she could not bear that much of heat. There is a transfer of heat energy that have taken place from kettle to her hand. Yes, isn't it? From the handle of the kettle to her hand. So there is a heat energy that transfer has taken place from her hand, kettle to her hand. That's why she felt it very very hot, and that's why she left the kettle. So do you think always by using always, if suppose if I touch any particular object, I will check it whether it is hot or no. You are going to end up doing like this. Either you are going to hurt yourself. See, when you touch any hot object, and if you try to feel how much hot it is just by touching hot, it is only by touching, you're going to hurt yourself. So what is it? So what do we do now? So this always touching the object with hands and finding out how much hot or how much cold they are is not reliable. Is not reliable means is not trustworthy. Okay, and it will be so not always good. So because we are going to end up in hurting ourselves. So what do we do? What do we do? What can we do in that case? What can we do? Yes, we have to have some device or some gadget or some machine which is going to tell us how much hot it is. And what is that device or machine that is going to tell us how much hot this object is? Do you know that? What is it called? So, what is a heat measuring device? Just like you have weighing scale to measure your weight, what is the heat measuring device? With what device we measure heat? Yes, it is with using what? Thermometer. Very good. It is a thermometer. So, thermometers are going to help us in measuring the heat. So, let us see temperature. What is meant by temperature first? A reliable measure of hotness or coldness of a substance is called temperature. So, what do you mean by temperature? How much an object is hot or how much an object is cold is called a temperature. Now, this temperature can be measured using a device called thermometer. As I already told you, we can measure how much hot an object is or how much cold an object is. We can find out the measurement of this hotness or coldness using a device, and that device is called thermometer. Okay. So, before finding what is thermometer, let us try to understand what is temperature. Temperature is nothing but measure of hotness or coldness of a substance. How much hot? Suppose I tell you in this beaker I have taken a warm water. I am just telling you, in this beaker I have taken a warm water. I don't know how much it is. Okay, what is the physical quantity? How much? So, for that I will use a thermometer, and I am going to dip the thermometer inside this warm water, and then I am going to find out that this warm water is 50 degrees Celsius. So, this is giving me how much hot it is. So, it is telling me a certain number, it is giving me a certain reading, and that certain reading is called number it is. So, it is a 50 degrees Celsius. So, here 50 degrees Celsius is the temperature of this beaker, or that particular beaker is containing water, and that water is having temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. So, that is called a temperature, the reliable measure of hotness or coldness. And let us now try to understand difference between heat and temperature. What I have told you, heat means it is a type of energy. What is heat? It is a type of energy. Whereas what is the temperature? It is a degree of hotness or coldness. How much hot? Suppose I say how much particular object is hot. How hot it will be. How cold it will be. Kitle, how much? A quantity, some quantity. Whereas heat is just type of energy. It is cause of temperature. Why heat energy? Why do heat energy flow? We know that heat energy always flow or move from one region to another, and that region is always from hotter region to colder region. Suppose this object is having 90 degrees Celsius temperature, and this one is having 20 degrees Celsius temperature. So there is a temperature difference. There is a movement of heat energy is going to move from a higher temperature region to lower temperature. So heat is caused due to temperature. Okay. So now temperature is again caused due to heat. So we know that more the heat energy flow, more will be the temperature. Less the heat energy flow, less will be the temperature. How do we measure the heat? Heat we measure in terms of joules or kilocalories, whereas temperature we measure in terms of Celsius, degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit, and there is one more unit called Kelvin. Okay, as you go to the higher classes, you are going to learn about this unit as well. So there are 3 units for temperature: degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit and Kelvin. So I can say that heat and temperature, although both are different, both are relatives of one another. Just like we have relatives, 2 brothers, sister, 2 siblings. Okay, both maybe parents same, but they are both are different individuals. Similarly, heat and temperature both are relative of one another, but they are both are different. Okay, so here this tables give you difference between heat and temperature. Let us try to understand how to measure this particular temperature. So how do I told you? We can measure the temperature using something called thermometer. How do we measure? We can measure using a device, and that device is thermometer. So the temperature of a body can be measured using a device, and that device is called thermometer. Let us try to understand the meaning of thermo. Thermometer is made up of 2 words. Thermo means heat. Okay, thermo means heat, and meter means a device or a scale. So the device that measure the heat or how much cold that particular object is, how much heat energy that particular object has, that is called a thermometer. Okay, so in this case, this particular thermometer on the left hand side, okay, you have 2 thermometer, one is on the left, one is on the right hand side. Okay, there are 2 thermometers here. This thermometer is showing cold, the temperature is very less. That means the here object will be hot or cold. Here the temperature is less, and here the temperature is more. So this object on the left hand side will be hot or cold? Yes, it will be cold object. What it will be? It will be a cold object. Whereas this particular temperature, okay, this particular object which is showing more temperature. So this will be what? Hot object or cold object? It will be a hot object. Okay, a hot object. So a temperature can be measured using a device, as I have told you, and that device to measure temperature is called thermometer. Okay, let us try to understand about different types of thermometer and different types of scales we have. Okay, we have Celsius scale, and there is something called Fahrenheit scale. When we measure a temperature, suppose I say the temperature of this water that contains in this beaker is, suppose if I take a thermometer and if I try to find out the temperature of this particular water which is there in this particular beaker, and if I say temperature is 60, what is 60? It has to be have some unit, right? So 60 here in this case I am saying degree Celsius. So this scale, so there are different scale for measuring temperature. You can say different units are there for temperature. And what are those different units? One is Celsius scale, other one is Fahrenheit scale. So we have the first scale called the Celsius scale, we have the second scale called Fahrenheit scale, and there is one more scale called Kelvin scale. This particular Kelvin scale, you are going to learn about it when you go to the higher classes. This year we will try to learn about Celsius scale and Fahrenheit scale. This scale, Celsius scale, we indicate it, we write like this, degree, a 0 like this on top, and we write capital C. That's a unit of it. Okay, that's how, this is symbolic representation of Celsius. And this was discovered by the scientist called Andre Celsius. Okay, the name of the person's name is Andre Celsius. This person has discovered this scale, and therefore he has given his name for the measuring scale, and that is a degree Celsius. Okay, while writing, I will write it as degree, and I will use the word Celsius. Okay, degree Celsius. Now this one, the degree Fahrenheit. Okay, I write it as like this, small 0 and F, capital F. So degree Fahrenheit. Okay, while writing, it will be degree and it will be Fahrenheit. Okay, Fahrenheit. So this one was discovered by Daniel Fahrenheit, one scientist called Daniel Fahrenheit. He has discovered, and this is a symbolic way of writing it. Okay, this is a symbol of it. So what is the difference between both the scale? Okay, in the degree of Celsius, the upper limit, upper fixed point, we have 100 degrees Celsius, and lower scale is 0 degrees Celsius, and total number of division is 100. Suppose if I take a thermometer in a degree Celsius, the uppermost is 100 and lowest is 0, and in between you have 1 division, and 1 division will be 1 degree, so 100 division, 1 total entire scale is divided into 100 lines. Just like you have a ruler on a 15 centimeter scale divided into 15 centimeters. So like that, there is a this, in this scale there are total, how many divisions are there, total lines, 100 lines will be there. So one line means 1 degree, second line means 2nd degree, third line means 3rd degree, fourth line means 4th degree, and so on. So like this, how many it will be, 100. Okay, in Fahrenheit it is slightly different. Even Celsius is 100, how much is Fahrenheit? Fahrenheit kitla asta? When Celsius is 100, it is, look at this number, what is this number which is given you in the table? This one is 212 degree Fahrenheit. Suppose the temperature in Celsius scale is 100, in Fahrenheit it will be 212 degree Fahrenheit. How much it will be? 212 degree Fahrenheit. And when the temperature is 0 degree Celsius, in the Fahrenheit scale, it will be 32 degree Fahrenheit. So, and total number of divisions is 180. So, like this, when I told you in the degree Celsius, in that scale you have 100 divisions. Here there are total 180 divisions. 180 lines will be there. How many lines will be there? So, 180 lines will be there. Lowest will be 32, then 33, 34, 35, 36, like that. Each line there will be total 180 divisions will be there. Okay, let us have you understood the difference between the Celsius and Fahrenheit scale? 100 degree means how much Fahrenheit? You can look at the table and tell. Yes, it is 212 degree Fahrenheit. And 0 degree Celsius means how much Fahrenheit? It is 32 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now there is a formula, little bit of mathematics over here. There is a formula to calculate the from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, suppose you want to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius, there is a formula F is equal to F minus 32 upon 9 is equal to C upon 5. From this you get this equation, F is equal to 9C, we cross multiply 9 multiplied by C, 9C upon 5 plus 32. Okay, let us try to take one simple problem and let us try to solve it. Okay, suppose I have here the number is 86. Let me take an example. Okay, let me take it 86. Okay, 86 degree Fahrenheit. I want to convert it to degree Celsius. Okay, let us take the formula. Okay, I have Fahrenheit is given, F is given as F is equal to 9C upon 5 plus 32. Okay, Since I don't know this, so what I will do now? So I have to find out now. C I don't know. F I know. F is 86. So I will write 86 here, which will be equal to 9 multiplied by C upon 5 plus 32. Okay, cross this, you shift it to the other side. This number you can shift it to the other side. So this plus sign, when it comes to the other side, what will happen? In mathematics you have learned, signs are opposite, signs get changed. So 86 minus 32, it will be 9 multiplied by C into 5. Okay, 86 minus 32 is how much? 86 सातले 32 काढा, कितले झाले? What will be 86 minus 30? 86 minus, do and check, 32, it will be 54. Okay, 54 into 9 into C. Again here, therefore 54 upon 5 it will be. Okay, 54 into, shift either cross multiply now. So we have 54 into 5 is equal to 9 into C. Okay, so I can take it, I will keep this C as it is here. Okay, I will keep that C as it is here. Okay, and what I will do, I will shift this 9 to the other side. So multiplication become division. So 54 into 5 upon 9. So how much it will be? कितले जाता? कितले झाले? 54 into 5 कितले? Okay, or you can cross multiply. 9 ones are 9. 9 6 the 54, isn't it? 9 6 the 54. So there we have the number, and therefore we have the number as 6 into 5, which is nothing but C. 6 5 the 30. 6 5 the 30. So how much I got? How much number I got? 30 degrees Celsius. How much number I got? It will be 30 degrees Celsius. More problems we will solve in our next class. Only problems. Okay, more problems we will solve in a special class wherein we will try to learn about conversion from one unit to another unit. Okay, let us try to focus more on this particular number. Okay, let us try to see the different types of thermometer. We have two types of thermometer basically. There are different types, but in this year we are going to restrict ourselves to two types of thermometer. We have first one, we have the first thermometer, a clinical thermometer. We have the second type of thermometer that we are going to learn, a laboratory thermometer. Okay, let us try to understand what is clinical thermometer, and let us try to understand what is laboratory thermometer in detail. By the way, there are different types of temperature measuring device. By the way, there are different types of thermometer, but we will see only two types, clinical and laboratory. This is the picture of a clinical thermometer, and that's the picture of a laboratory thermometer. Okay, let us see what are this. First one, we have a clinical thermometer. So what do you mean by the term clinical thermometer? A clinical thermometer is one that measures temperature of our body. What is a clinical thermometer? It is that particular thermometer, it is that type of thermometer which is going to measure the temperature of our body. So what is the average temperature of a human body? What is the average temperature of a human body? Yes, the average temperature of a human body is 37 degrees Celsius. So this is a clinical thermometer. Observe the clinical thermometer carefully. It's a glass tube case. Okay, it's basically a glass case and in this there is a narrow tube like this, and in this narrow tube there is one liquid which is put in this, and that liquid is nothing but a mercury. Okay, this mercury is a metal, just like you have gold metal, silver metal, iron metal, aluminium metal. So mercury is also a type of metal, but unlike gold, silver, iron, aluminium, all these metals are solid. This particular metal is liquid state. Okay, this is present in a liquid form, just like we have a water in the liquid form. This mercury is also present in the liquid form. So this particular mercury is put up in this particular narrow tube. So here we have this glass tube filled with mercury. Okay, so mercury metal. And as the mercury move from one region to other region, depending on the whether the object is hot or cold, it is showing some reading. Presently it is at this level. So what is it showing? Mercury at this level. So this division. So lowest division is what? This is the lowest division. Okay, and this is the highest division. So what is the lowest and what is the highest division in a clinical thermometer? Yes, lowest is 35 and highest is 42 degrees Celsius. And what is the reading it showing? It is showing the 37 degrees Celsius. So what is the average temperature of a human body? So if you try to measure your temperature, it should be 37. Some may have 37.1, 37.2, or maybe 36.9, 36.8. So these possibilities are there. But when we try to find out the average, it comes to 37 degrees Celsius only. So therefore we say the average temperature of a human body is 37 degrees Celsius. So as I have told you, this type of thermometer is called liquid in glass thermometer. What type of thermometer it is? This type we have it in the school. So I will show you once you come to the school. You will able to see this particular type of thermometer. This is called liquid in glass thermometer. There is a glass tube like this, okay, and this glass tube has this particular liquid. And what is the liquid present in this? Yes, and this liquid is nothing but I told you is use a one particular metal, and that name of the metal is mercury. What is the range of the thermometer? I have told you this. In the previous session we have seen. Yes, lowest is 35, highest is 47. So the range is 35 to 35 to 40, lowest is 35 and highest is 42 degrees. So the range is for 35 to 42. This has constriction. This constriction or the clink, okay. This one has this clink-like structure. So this tube which is there, it is not a continuous tube. So this glass tube which was there, so this glass tube have something like this, okay. This glass tube which is there, it has this V hump-like structure, and this hump-like structure is called constriction, okay. Either it is called constriction or it is also called clink. What is it called? It is called clink, okay. So it is called clink. Now why this is there? This is there when you measure the temperature, okay. Now suppose you are measuring the temperature of a human body. I said this clinical thermometer is specially designed to measure the temperature of a human body. So now this you must have seen doctor either placing this thermometer in your mouth, or they will be keeping it under your arms, and they will try to find out the temperature of your body. So when you remove it, immediately now there is a temperature difference, your body temperature will be different, and then your body when you keep this thermometer outside, it will be different. So what will happen now? That slowly this mercury level is going to fall down, it's going to go down because there is a temperature difference now. And to avoid this immediate flow, there is a brake, like just like you have a on the road you have the speed breaker that break the speed. Similarly, this clink is there, and this clink is going to help us in reducing the speed of this mercury, and it will avoid mercury to fall back immediately. Okay, now while reading you have to hold the thermometer here, not here. You cannot touch it. This is a place where it measures the temperature. Okay, this is called a mercury bulb. Okay, in this mercury is there, so this is called mercury bulb. You cannot hold it here, you cannot touch it here, because if you touch it again it is going to detect the temperature of your fingers, and that will be wrong reading. So you have to hold your temperature here at this end. Okay, so this is a clinical thermometer, and this type of thermometer is called liquid glass in thermometer. Okay, nowadays you get this, you have seen this in the school. This is called infrared rays thermometer. These are the latest version of thermometers, latest version of clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometer again are of various forms you get. The previous one which I had shown you, this is called liquid in glass thermometer. This one is a digital clinical thermometer. What is it called? A digital clinical thermometer, which is we get it in the market this way. Okay, there is no need to look at where is the mercury level and what is the temperature reading. This is very easy since it comes in digits येता म्हणून digital म्हणतात तेका. Okay, just you put this knob mercury bulb in either mouth of your patient or under the arm. Okay, and then you try to record the temperature and it will going to show the temperature over here. Okay, so this is very easy to use. Again, these are very much more easy. Okay, infrared thermometers which are there, you have seen this. It's also called gun type of thermometer. Okay, look like a gun. Yes, you have to just press this button and the infrared rays are put on the either hands or the head of the patient, and it records the temperature in terms of reading, and it is going to show the reading over here. You have seen this thermometer in the school, or maybe in the wherever you have visited different places, you have get to see this type of thermometers. Okay, so this one is infrared thermometer. So these are the latest version of clinical. Both are actually clinical thermometer. So both these are clinical thermometers only, but these are the latest version of this clinical thermometer. One is called a digital one. Here it is infrared one. Okay. Now while reading the temperature, you have to use certain precautions. Okay, while using this thermometer. So what are the precautions? First of all, wash the thermometer with antiseptic solution. Whenever suppose you are using this particular glass in thermometer. So these precautions are specially for liquid in glass type of thermometer. Okay, this type of thermometer when you are using, you have to use it antiseptic solution, or Dettol solution, or maybe alcohol solution, so that you are going to disinfect it, you are going to make it free of germs. Since sometimes the thermometer is put in the patient mouth, and suppose this one is already had a cold. Okay, and suppose you take the same thermometer and try to put it in another patient mouth. Okay, another patient mouth, that person may get that virus injected into that person's body. So to avoid that, you have to wash it thoroughly with antiseptic solution. Hold it firmly and give it a few jerks. Hold it firmly means you have to hold here at this end. You have to hold at this end and you have to give a jerk. You have to just shake it. Okay, shake it means to bring the mercury level below 35 degrees Celsius. So the lowest सकल वचपाक जाय. So to get the mercury line which is here, somewhere showing here, it has to go down, so that you are going to get accurate thermometer and may not be previously reading घेतला ते. Okay, to avoid reading error. All this is done to avoid error or to avoid mistakes. Okay, so you have to give a few jerks. Then you have to place the bulb of the thermometer under the tongue or under the armpit. So now this bulb of the thermometer, which is either you will put it in the tongue, under the tongue in the patient mouth, or you will keep under the armpit like this. And then after 1 minute, you are going to keep it like that only, and then you are going to note down the reading of that temperature in what is the temperature of that particular body. So this is a liquid in glass thermometer. Nowadays you get a latest version, I told you, infrared. You don't have to do all this. You don't have to use the antiseptic solution. You don't have to give a jerk. You don't have to use all this Precautions, because you just hold a gun, you try to project it on either on the head or the hands, and you get an accurate reading on that thermometer. Those are the more sophisticated or more easy to use type of thermometers. Okay, these are the wooden one, wherein liquid in glass thermometer when we are using it. Now how to read it? Okay, so there are lines like this, as I had told you. The lowest line is lowest end is 35 degree and highest is 42 degree Celsius. In between there are lines like this. So there are lines in between each degree. Suppose 35 to 36 degree, this is 1 degree. Here there are total 10 lines. How many lines? 10 lines are there. So this particular temperature, this one is showing how much now? What is the reading on this temperature? What is the reading on this particular thermometer? What is the temperature? Here it is 35 and this is 39. Okay. So in between 35 and 39. So what is the reading? What is the correct reading it is showing? Yes, it is showing 38.9. So each, how many lines are there? Sorry, 10 lines are there. So one line with one point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 4th division. It is showing that reading at 4th division. So 1 is 0.1 degree Celsius. Since 4 are there, so it will be 0.4 degree Celsius. So 38.4. So how much is the temperature? 38.4 degree Celsius. This is how you are going to read it. Okay, that's very easy to use. Okay, now how does thermometer work? कसं काम करतं? That is also very important. Okay, how to see that thermometer is working? Or we know that I have told you, in that glass tube what we put? We use a mercury. And what is mercury? I told you mercury is a metal. And what type of metal? It is the only metal which comes in liquid state. Most of the metal that you see in your surrounding comes in solid state, whereas this mercury metal comes in liquid state. Now this mercury expands according to the heat given to it. Expand means the molecules of mercury which are here, which is kept here. So this mercury is here, liquid mercury. So if you give heat, these molecules will expand. More the heat, more the expansion. Molecules are moving far away. So when their molecules get heat, these molecules of mercury, they are going to move away. Okay, move away from one another. So more the heat, more the movement. Okay, less the heat, less the movement. So more heat, more movement means more expansion. Less heat, less movement means less expansion. Suppose the temperature showing on the clinical thermometer is 39 degrees Celsius. What is the average temperature? I told you average temperature of a human body is 37 degrees Celsius. Now I'm telling you the temperature is 39 degrees. Is it more than the average or is it less than the average? Average is 37 degrees Celsius. But here the temperature is 39 degrees Celsius. That means it is more than the average temperature. So in this case, mercury is going to expand or it is going to contract. It is going to expand means it is going to move far away or it is going to come closer. There is something called expansion and there is something called contraction. Expansion means moving away. Okay, moving away is called expansion, and contraction means coming closer. So contraction is means coming closer, to become closer. So in expansion molecules move far away, in contraction they come closer. So when the temperature is 39, that means heat is more. More the heat, more it will be the expansion. If the temperature is less, it will be less expansion it will show. Okay. The another type of thermometer we have, the next one is laboratory thermometer. What type of thermometer? A laboratory thermometer. A thermometer that is used in laboratory is called laboratory thermometer. What is it called? The thermometer that we use in laboratory, we call it laboratory thermometer. Again, laboratory thermometer is similar to clinical thermometer, a liquid in glass thermometer. What type of thermometer? Liquid in glass thermometer, wherein this glass is there, the mercury tube is there, the mercury bulb is there, and this is a glass tube. Laboratory thermometer has a long range, long narrow tube, okay, very long. that it has a mercury bulb at the end. As I told you, this bulb is nothing but a mercury containing bulb, and therefore it is called mercury bulb. Okay, this bulb, and it has a marking in the degree Celsius. Okay, this is a degree Celsius. And what is the lowest? 100 and negative 10, and highest is 110. So you will find the lowest will be minus 10 degrees Celsius, negative 10 degrees Celsius. This is the lowest end, and the highest end is positive 110 degrees Celsius. So this will be the highest end. Okay, this is how the laboratory thermometer design. Now there are certain precautions which we have to take while reading the thermometer. First of all, I have told you, when you use mercury type of thermometer, okay, mercury based thermometer, especially a clinical thermometer, what I have told you, you have to wash it with antiseptic solution. You have to wash it with either Dettol solution or alcohol solution. You have to disinfect it. Okay, you have to use antiseptic to wash it properly. Then ensure that mercury level is below 35 degrees Celsius. Make sure that mercury level is below, so I have to give a few checks. After reading the thermometer, you had keep the thermometer to the eye level, doळ्यांच्या लेवलला दवरपाक जाय, so that you are avoiding error. All these things are done to avoid error. Avoid करपाक करता. Okay, and after that you hold the thermometer. Do not hold it by bulb. ह्या एंडाक धरप ना. Don't holding here. You have to hold it on the other end, and you have to read it properly. Okay, this is how we are going to use the thermometer while reading it. Okay, with that we have finished with today's session. What we have learned? We have learned about, we started with chapter heat. We have learned about what are hot and what are cold objects. Okay, what are hot and what are cold objects. We have tried to understood about what is heat energy. Then we have also learned about temperature, what is mean by word temperature. We have also understand about temperature measuring device, that is thermometer. We have learned about thermometer, and we have also learned about different types of thermometer, and under the different types, in many types are there, but we have learned about two types of thermometer, and that is, one is clinical, other one is laboratory thermometer. Okay, with that I have finished with today's class. Okay, if you like today's session, you can hit on the like button, and we will end the class, and we are going to continue with our lesson in our next class. Thank you, students.